Hey everyone, my name is Navtanay
I'm Aatman.
and we are First Slip, Second Slip. We've been away for a while, and since the IPL is going on, we thought we'll do something fun. And I'll let Atman explain what he has in mind.
Yeah, I think before we get back into the serious cricket that Navtan and I are more interested in, we thought we'd have a play on the fantasy league style of IPL. This is something that I've been doing with a close group of friends of mine for at least the last 10 years. But this time around, given the fact that the fixtures are a lot more dense and our time zones aren't that great, we're going to do a weekly contest, and it's a head to head between Navtan and I. We'll all pick a squad of 11 plus one impact player plus three alternates based on the fixtures for next week. This will be draft based. So, Naftane will go first, followed by me, and then next week we'll switch that order. The
Yeah,
rules for team construction are exactly the same as an IPL team. That no more than four international, at least one wicket keeper, at least four bowlers, right?
yeah.
So that's the only rules
Wait,
that we're setting.
do we want four bowlers or uh, four bowlers and an all rounder, five bowlers? Because 20 overs needs to be completed.
Yeah, I would say this is like reasonably you should be able to complete 20 overs. We're not going to be too prescriptive about what the definition of a bowler is.
Virat Kohli took a wicket of his first wide ball ever.
I
So
mean, it's true, but I don't think any of us would accept it as a bowler, but still, that's reasonable. Um, so we're taking into account the fact there's like fixtures imbalance and stuff like that. So we're all gonna. That's why I think the draft structure kind of evens it out a bit. And the hope is we talk about why for some of our picks, and then I'm going to be compiling the teams on the side. And then we'll be scoring based on an established fantasy scoring system, either relying on the Dream 11 scoring system for the fantasy league, or we'll use ESPN Cricket Info Smart Stats. I prefer Smart Stats because it doesn't arbitrarily reward a 50 more than a 49, and it takes into account some normalizing factors. But either way, we'll
yeah,
figure that
I
out.
like the impact starts that websites like Cricinfo have. There's also this idea of using true strike rates and two averages we might get into later, but we'll start simple and see how much we can complicate and make our lives more difficult later.
Yeah, I think what might be an interesting thing might be if we get different results through different scoring systems over the
Yeah.
course of the next few weeks, and that might help point some stuff out. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's jump right into it. So Nafsan
Yeah.
is going first.
All
Uh,
right.
so what's your first pick?
So my first pick, and that's because Punjab has three matches this week, is Prayan Charya.
Okay. Any particular reason? Just the sort of breakthrough innings last week?
It's a vibes pick for sure. He has three bites of the cherry this week. Did not start the season off so well. Got the peach of a delivery from Jofra Archer. I don't think he could have done anything about it. I don't think anyone could have done anything about it. But after that, came back strong, and it looks like there might be a reason for him to at least come off good one out of three times.
Okay. It's gutsy for your first pick, right?
Yeah,
So I'm going with Shreyas for my first.
yeah,
Uh, More because I think odds are over three games for me. I think he's likely to
exactly.
get more runs. I mean, Shreyas is as much of a vibes pick in for me as well. I think he's always been very talented, had some unfortunate timing with certain injuries and squad density, but overall, I think he's the kind of player who does well with captaincy. He seems to be in really good form, and I think that the team overall has got some good momentum. So he,
Yeah, we forget that Shreyas has been around for a while because of those 2 years he lost with his back injury. He's what, 29, 30 right now, prime as a batter. They had an amazing Champions Trophy, did really well. Even before that, for in the small England series that we had as its audition for the Champions Trophy, has been doing well. I'm concerned whether the consistency will play off. He's been very consistent over the last three or four, over the last 2 weeks, right?
yeah,
Let's see how that goes next week.
yeah. Let's see. I mean, I'm pretty hopeful. I think he's. I mean, if I'm not going to pick him now when they're playing three
Yeah,
games
then
a
when
week,
will
I
it?
I don't think I have much choice. So yeah, that's my first pick.
All right. For the second one, I am going to exhaust one of my away players and go with Phil Salt.
Yeah, you're kind of like picked the first name of my list there, but it's it's hard to look past him, right? Like in the current form that he's in, and he's it is a bit of a gamble always with him, just because like he's I don't think he has any qualms about taking extreme risks, but fair enough.
He's one of those guys who was pivotal for KKR's win last year. He went away during the final stages, I think, for an England call up. But before that, KKR reached the playoffs because Phil Salt and Narain went crazy at top. So I'm pretty hopeful.
Okay, so I'm kind of like on the fence for this one because if I know I choose one, you're going to choose the other. It's a bit of a high risk for me. I'm going with KL for my next pick. It's also my
Oh,
keeper, right? Uh,
yeah,
and I hope I've caused substantial damage to your plans like you did to mine. But like that's the. I mean, it's a pretty obvious one, right? Like he's seems to be somewhat like unshacker from his previous iterations, and
yeah,
I think the balanced squad around him gives him a little bit more freedom, and I think the team's benefiting from it as a result too.
yeah. No, KL is a good pick. This statement innings in Bangalore when he said, "This is my ground," it said something. I think he's been freed from the burdens of captaincy and trying to defend totals and try to get to the par score. And he's doing what he should be, what he was doing in Punjab, like I think 5 years back, where Mayank Agarwal and KL just went crazy at the top for a few innings. Pretty hopeful for him this season. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a conundrum right now because the guy that I want to pick will take away one of my away picks, but I'm also worried that you'll pick the next player later. I'll go with Nicholas Puran. I'm gonna exhaust another away pick of mine.
Is
He's
he technically your wicket keeper as well?
I Let's get back to it.
Okay,
So here's what happens, right? Do wicket keepers get fantasy points for catches that they take as a wicket keeper?
they do.
Yeah, but Puran,
Everyone does, but I think the likelihood of them getting catches is higher, just generally.
yeah,
Like
no, I'm asking because Puran is not going to be the wicket keeper as long as Pant is playing, right?
yeah,
Unless Pant decides to opt out, as captains have done in the past year. I don't think Puran's going to be a wicket keeper. So I'm going to hold my judgment on that for a while.
okay.
But yeah, orange cap holder, amazing story. Very similar to what happened to Pant. 18, 19 years old, Puran got into a car crash, did not know he'd play cricket. Came out of it in the last year. He's hit the maximum number of sixes in all of cricket, and he's just continued. Doesn't look like he's stopping.
Yeah, it's always like scary almost watching him how easily he's able to and like hit balls of like incredibly different lengths in the same sort of area, right? Either pulling or driving, or and it's just incredible bat speed and just really exciting to watch. And I think he's like flattered to deceive a little bit in previous seasons, had three or four big innings and not really consistent. And if he's able to do it consistently, that's kind of scary to see.
Even then, right? Even in the previous seasons, when he came good, he really came good. There
Yeah.
was no stopping him.
Alrighty. Now we're getting into an interesting area. I'm for my next pick, I'm gonna go with Jaiswal.
Yeah.
I think like you've always loved him very much. You always thought he was special.
I do. Yeah, I
And
do. I'm. I was scared about picking him though because you can tell me why you did that.
I can because like he kind of had like somewhat of a breakthrough innings recently. I think it's more I don't think I mean there's obviously no quality issue there. The openers get the most chance to make the most runs. And my guess is he's like over the hump in terms of the bad luck or sort of scratchy form that he was in.
Yeah.
And you know, amongst he's the kind of like in the early iterations of IPL, you had the sort of Warners and the Kohlis who were kind of like bankers for a certain number of runs in a season.
Yeah.
Samson to an extent, maybe less so. He's like a little bit more fluctuating, but he's a banker, right? And I think just in terms of the runs that he's likely to get, I'm it's hard to look past him.
No, I totally get it. I was thinking about his previous innings, right? I think it was today, right? If I'm
Morning.
not wrong. Yeah, before that, he looked out of sorts. In the first 2, 3 overs, he looked out of sorts. I think he just needed to spend some time in the middle. It might just be that he's done that now.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard for me to look past him, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think the point there is if I had to close my eyes and pick on which guy is likely to be the top run scorer in the IPL before starting, he'd definitely be in the top five.
Of
Yeah.
course. All right. My next one is interesting. It's based off of one inning in the IPL. It's Karun Nair.
Oh wow. Okay.
if
That's a vibes pick, if ever.
if
I mean,
you've
I
not
think
if you've not followed domestic cricket at all,
yeah.
Karun Nair is the guy who scored 300 and was never seen before. After, right?
Or
He
before, to be fair.
or before, yeah. He disappeared, gained a lot of weight, got away from his Karnataka side. He found a new home in Vidarbha and has been smashing it in the last year. And he knocked the door down to get into the IPL. There was talk of getting him in the Indian team. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's a topic for a different time. Could not get a game in. The guy who was the highest scorer in Saeed Mustaq Ali Trophy could not get a game in. The guy who was Vidarbha's highest scorer in Ranji Trophy in Vijay Hazare could not get a game in. Now he did, and the second he did that, he scored a 200 strike rate 80. So even if he keeps coming on as Delhi's impacts up, he has the temperament to go and do it again.
Definitely. I think he's just one of those like unfortunate stories of like
Yeah.
you're a
The
victim
street
of your own
position.
success. And like also a very competitive squad, to be honest. It was just like there wasn't much room at
Yeah.
that point. So fair dudes. I think it's an interesting pick, right?
And I'm hoping you won't pick my next batsman that who I really wanted to pick.
No, I'm gonna do one slightly different now. I'm gonna go with Akshar for
Oh, I had not thought of Akshay. Yeah.
just because all round contributions, he's I mean like he's very different from Jadeja, but I think people just equate him because he's a left arm spinner all
That I
rounder.
know.
Yeah, but I think he's really his batting has come a long, long way. He's an excellent, reliable fielder, gets a ton of catches. He seems to be an astute captain as well. And I think across the disciplines, it's hard to look past him as kind of the most effective all-rounder around in limited overs right now, just in terms of just overall contribution to the game.
Yeah.
And just like he does it consistently. That's why he's my pick.
Remind me though, has he had any breakthrough innings right now for
Hmm.
Delhi? It might be around the corner, but yeah.
I think he's done like Delhi's wins have actually been like pretty efficient and not very dramatic. When they won, they had one dramatic
Apart
loss.
from the Lucknow
Yeah.
match. Yeah.
But apart from that, they've just done basic things really well. Bore tightly, scored efficiently, and he's done something every game, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's not likely to be an outsized contribution like as some of the others, but that's quite possible as well. Like I can see a world where they get a big score, and just because the team has to bat aggressively, he ends up getting 2 or 3 wickets too. So I think that's definitely possible. And Delhi are doing well. I expect them to win at least one of the next 2 games, and I can't see them doing it without him contributing in some way.
In the beginning of the trophy, would you have had Delhi top of the table?
I mean, I'm biased because like I always want them to do well because that's where, but they suck usually. So it's been a
Topsy turvy IPL.
topsy turvy IPL, but I think like they've performed the way really good T20 teams do,
Yeah.
right? And in the sense that they have a plan, they have 2 or 3 alternative plans in place, and I think they've been very smart with their auctions and their picks, and they look like a really good team.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine what happens if
I know. I mean, that's like the big thing, but like I honestly don't think he's going to have too many more chances. Like I don't know who else they have. I haven't looked at the rest of their squad, but it's
I mean, my point is they're doing so well without that.
yeah, exactly. It's just more upside, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. I've been wanting to select this guy for the last two picks, Patidar.
Okay.
In terms of just pure stats, Patidar's spin playing ability is almost at the Iyer level. And the next two games that Bangalore has is at home,
Hmm.
small grounds. One person has to come good at least. I'm guessing that's going to be Patidar. And then Mohali, the new Mohali. It's new, but it's still a spinning Mohali, right?
Yep.
So Patidar versus spin and Mohali, I'm banking on that. And then, really quickly, is there a point for being captain?
We should have a conversation about that. Usually in fantasy leagues, you get double points for the captain.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that, transparently, but we can do it the both because if you use the fantasy points calculator, like that's the rule system that they use, so like your captain gets double.
But then
But
that's almost like lottery, right?
it is a bit, and there's like virtue in that from a like a picking and like gambling perspective. Is like it adds a little bit more of a dimension of you just need one guy to do really well.
Yeah.
But
But that's not what you're.
we can do a version of the scores with and without. I'm kind of like curious to see how that turns out.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. It's
okay.
you next.
So it's me next. This is pick number 5 for me. It's kind of interesting now. I have a couple of choices. So the one I'm going to use my first international pick and go with Stubbs, right? Tristan Stubbs.
That's a
Uh,
good one. Yeah.
yeah, like I think he's really a dangerous player. He looks like super aggressive, and he's got like a lot of versatility. I don't think he has any obvious batting weakness. I think
He
it's
does
more,
not. He's
yeah,
number three for South Africa in tests, right?
yeah.
So he's definitely has the technique to back his scoring.
And it's just like it's kind of curious. Like this is my vibes pick, right? Like
Yeah.
I like him, and I think that there's a significant chance that he does well, particularly over 2 games.
The law of averages might help you here. He did well 2 matches ago, failed today. Maybe it's this 1-0-1-0 scenario. It might help you here.
Yeah, there's randomness to this stuff, right? And but I think like overall, he seems like the real deal, and it seems like fun. And I think that there's something to be said for like team momentum and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And but yeah, let's see.
Cool. All right. I got Prab Simran Singh as my number six. I know
Okay.
he's top of the order generally, but I need a wicket keeper, and I have two away picks left, and my wicket keeper option was also an away pick. So I'm just gonna go with Prab Simran.
He's been around for a while and pretty consistent for a while, to be honest.
He's been around. He was what, one of two players or three players that Punjab retained.
I think so, right? Like
Yeah,
he did a big revamp, but he's even. I remember him being a sort of like outsized, uncapped contributor several times, right?
yeah. So basically, I need Punjab's opening to do well. I
It's
got
a reasonable guess over like I wouldn't expect like both of them to like
yeah,
fail over three consecutive games, but
yeah,
it is a bit of a gamble in some sense. But all of this is, to be fair.
yeah.
So I think I think I'm going to start going bowler heavy now. Sure. Actually, I'm going to go for Krunal Pandya
Ooh,
for my number 6.
he just randomly takes wickets, right? Is he even a spin bowler when if he's bouncing 120 kilometer an hour bounces?
I mean, I kind of admire the guy, like
Yeah,
for his somewhat seemingly limited ability, or at least apparently limited. He's made a long and successful career for himself. I think he's the kind of guy who like similar to Akshar, just like always contributes in some way. So he's like the insurance buffer. Like very rarely does he have completely off days, right? And I think that the expectation here is that it kind of like balances it out and gives some versatility. And like he tries different things, just kind of like fun to watch, even though it's like absurd, but it actually worked. The couple of bouncers that he bowled last time, so it's kind of fun to see. But yeah, he's my pick for six.
It's interesting. I think that last over that he bowled in the not this game, the one before this, right? 3 wickets in the last over, bowling the 20th over. That is something.
Yeah, it's
All
not
right,
going to happen every time. I don't think he's going to
yeah,
get many more 20th overs, but like it's
that
yeah.
shows the temperament.
No, no, he's been around. Like it's
Yeah,
he's an experienced player, and I can already hear what one of my friends in the fantasy chat would be saying to me for picking Ronaldo. But like sometimes you just
hey,
go with
I'm gonna have a equally controversial pick for my next one, Venkatesh Iyer.
okay.
And here's my reasoning. We spoke about the team having the ability to bowl 20 overs, and if I don't pick Iyer now, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
That's I that's kind of interesting. His bowling is I don't know what it is, to be honest. Like I still
No,
can't.
he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
But frankly, if KKR find themselves in a scenario where he comes in with 6 overs, 7 overs remaining, he could come good. That's what he did last time, right?
Yeah. I
Narayan and Salt gave starts at the top, and he just capitalized.
yeah. I wanted like maybe in a week where KKR is playing more than once, I'll pull the Narayan thing, but I think I'm going to avoid him this week.
Yeah, I had 3 KKR players shortlisted. I wanted to do Narayan. I resisted, and then I went with Iyer.
Okay.
Yeah, they have just one game. This is a literally a let's see what happens pick.
Hmm. Okay. So my number seven pick, I'm going to go with Arshdeep.
Yeah, that was gonna be my pick.
Right? Like it's an obvious one. Right? He's an excellent T20 bowler, 3 games. I expect him to do well at some point. It's not really much to say beyond that. Like he's just done really well. He's gotten better over time, and I think I'm expecting him to get some wickets at least.
Yeah, I agree. Arshdeep brings in that left arm swing angle, bowls well in the net, bowls well at the big in the power play. Sorry, and then I don't know. Does he do middle overs as well?
I don't really know, to be honest. Like I haven't followed as games as closely, but he's definitely bowling at least an over in the last three
Yeah,
regularly, and usually two upfront, right? And I think the one might be a bit of a floater. I think situation dependent, but he gets wickets, right? Like
yeah.
he's smart.
All right. Since you got Arshdeep, I'm gonna go with Khalil Ahmed.
Okay.
Somebody's got to do well in CSK, right? You can't just have a team of 11 people not playing.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, like they've sucked so badly. It's been I think the frustrating thing has been just how they've lost as well, of like just not having a plan to like score at all. Uh,
Honestly,
yeah.
yeah, honestly, the frustrating thing is, does it matter to them? Their fans, it doesn't matter to their fans. It, it's a little mind boggling, and I know this can
But
get
it's just the
controversial.
fans in the stadium. Like that's just like what it sounds like, but I can't think like CSK's legacy has been built on winning a lot, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like, and I think the coverage is also a little bit unfair and weird in terms of like how they cover the crowd responses. I Chennai, I mean, it's safe to assume that they love their cricket. I think it's like well established, and I don't think that
And
they're okay with losing.
and that's the thing, right? Like, I really admire Chennai's cricket culture. Right from the 99 test when they gave Pakistan team a standing ovation, Chennai cricket crowd has always been cricket savvy. They know what they're doing. I've been to that stadium. It's awesome. And it's just sad seeing those fan reactions. But yeah, moving on before I land myself into trouble. What do you have?
So I also have a CSK guy, but I have Noor Ahmed.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just because like there's nothing like a weird spinner to you know put your team together, and I think he's excellent, right? Like his left arm wrist spin is kind of fun, and he seems to be. He's got 2 games. I expect him to do well, right?
But here's the thing, though, right? CSK play Lucknow in Lucknow, and then end of the week they play Mumbai in Mumbai.
Hmm.
Do you think Noor without the Chepak Stadium is going to be as effective?
Lucknow's a low-scoring venue, right? Like generally, like
Not
it.
anymore, though.
I mean,
They
it's.
did
I
some
I would say
rework.
that I the same reason that you have Khalil,
Yeah.
somebody's going to do well, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think if they get a game where they actually make some runs, it becomes actually much more impactful. Those overs, right? So
Oh, yeah.
I'm betting on that happening at least once. So
Yeah.
let's see.
All right. I'm going to power through and select my favorite spinner, Kuldeep.
Oh god damn it. Okay.
don't
I then
don't sleep on your picks, man. Don't sleep on your picks.
yeah. No, it's fun, right? Like it's Kuldeep, no brainer, right? The way where he's at right now.
2 or 3 excellent years. I
Yeah.
There's so much has been said about him, but yeah, the new Kuldeep who's come up with that 5 kilometer extra has just
Mm.
been taking the world by storm.
Yep. He's been excellent, really. So for me, it's another like somewhat obvious choice with Hazelwood for the next one,
Oh, I wrote down his name right now for my next pick.
right?
I literally just wrote down Josh before you said it.
Hazelwood is, or as my friend likes to call him, Hazelnut. Right? But like he's just excellent, right? Like he's gotten better and better, gets a lot of wickets, and he's just
Of,
really hard to score off of.
of all the Australian fast bowlers, he's my favorite by
Mhm.
far. And he went for runs last time. That's a one off. It's not going to happen again. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
thing.
also like Rahul at the peak of his in the zone completely, and like a situation where he everything he pulled off, like none of those were like terrible balls. He just
Yeah.
picked them before they got to him and just hit it wherever he wanted. He was kind of like really in supreme form, and that happens from time to time.
Yep. All right. So RR are playing in Delhi and Jaipur, right? I'm going to go with Jofra instead of
Ah,
Hazelwood.
okay, that's would have been my next pick, but fair enough.
We just exchanged topics.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jofra Archer may not have started as well, but he's turned into an effective 3 over power play bowler.
I mean he's amazing when he's like on
And he's
song and
feeling
like,
it.
like he bowls at least 3 or 4 completely unplayable balls
Yeah.
in every spell.
Case
The
in
one
point, the ball to Priyansh Arya.
Priyacharya, Gill, and he makes like batters look kind of silly when he
Yep.
does that because like there isn't much you can do when it's that fast and moving that much and bouncing that much. Like it's a real tragedy, like his injury loss to cricket as a whole. But I'm glad to see that at least we get to see him here, right?
Yep. Agree. All right. You have number 10 now, right?
It is number 10 for me. I'm gonna go with Locky, right? Like,
Wait, are you sure? He got injured.
oh, did he?
Yeah. I don't know if
Did
he's.
he not finish his spell? I thought he was back. We should check.
Check it out. I'm going to give you this
No,
mulligan.
but like, we have our reserves either way, right? Like, so
Okay.
maybe then for the first pick instead of Locky, then I can go for. I'm going to go for like Digvish Rati. That's like one of my.
I just should have just let you pick Loggy for this.
Well,
Wait, Shati was going to be my wife's pick. That like, he's
that
writing checks his body can't cash. He's writing checks his paycheck can't cash.
is a vibes pick if there was ever one. Like I
Oh
don't
my
get it.
god.
It's kind of crazy.
I just shot myself in the foot. So I will give you Karan Sharma for myself instead of Digvish.
Where is has he been playing?
He played today. I think this is one of those things where Mumbai needs to figure out their balance.
Combination.
And then if they have Bumrah coming in and then Vignesh coming in, then I don't know if Curran plays. We have reserves. If it might be that he may not play.
Okay.
But if he does, he did well enough today. I watched a bit of the highlights to add him.
Okay. So then for my last one, I'm going with the tried and trusted Bhuvaneshwar. More because like he still
You
seems to be sorry.
Bhuvneshwar, okay, good for you. So you have Josh Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar.
Yeah.
Okay, RCB really needs to win for you. Hey, I'll be
No,
happy.
I'm betting between one of them getting wickets, right? Like
Correct.
I think like it's hard for me to think of reliable bowling options outside there, right? So it's an easy one for me. I also just like him and
Yeah.
I want him to do well. So everyone's allowed to have like that extra pick on their side. So let's just make sure your your counts are your internationals are Phil Salt, Nikki P, Jofra.
So
Or
I
you
have
only
three.
or you only use three
Yeah, I have one left that I'm using right now.
for your
So
impact?
12 makes playing 11, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Marco Janssen.
Oh god damn it. Okay.
I
And I
like the lens. When he's on song, I like the lens that he bowls. He has 3 games. He's gonna play 3 games. He might come in and score a couple of sixes at the back end as well. I think that's a safe pick.
no, he's excellent, right? There's it's just he's it's so strange that when he gets it wrong, and I think it's like a nerves thing or something, he really
Yeah.
loses the plot, which is kind of interesting because he kind of has all of the things to be like that, typically unplayable South African fast bowler. You always have one, right? Like Morney because he's got the height in particular, but it's just yeah. But I also forget how young he is, right? Like he's still
24. I just checked this morning.
yeah, he's still got a long way to go. So
Yeah.
my 12th is going to be Hardik.
Good. I'm happy.
Right? Just because it's Hardik. He's going to do.
He's gonna come off one game.
Yeah, and like he does, again, like he always does like something. It's very rare that he's terrible across both disciplines, right?
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
involved with the game and stuff, but I don't know, like sometimes he rubs me the wrong way, but that's more like a personal thing but like in reality, he's an excellent cricketer.
A, a player like Hardik will always do that once in a while, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So the 12 is the 12 that you get points on, right? And everything
Yeah.
else is if someone not doesn't play in the 12.
The rest are injury reserves, basically. So if
Got it.
either they don't play squad absence or injury reserves, right?
Got it. So my 13 is Bumrah. Mumbai's next 2 matches are at home, and if ever there was a there was a time for Bumrah to just start bowling in his at his rhythm again. He went for 44 runs today. It's very un-Bumrah, but
I mean, both of the
he'll
ones in the
come back.
last over were edges, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's. I don't think he's at 100% yet,
yeah,
which is why
exactly.
I
He'll come
struggle
back.
with that. Yeah,
If not this match, then the next match he'll come back. And if Curran doesn't play, Bumrah might. That's the substitution that I have in mind.
got it. And yeah, so my 13th is Surya, right?
Yeah,
Just because,
because it's Surya.
yeah, I mean, you would imagine it's kind of hard to think of him not as one of the first names on your team sheet ever, but I think he's not in prime form, right? Like just for whatever reason, and like he still does the thing that he does, where like the first or second ball he plays, it's almost always a boundary.
Yeah,
He looks like he's getting there, it just hasn't worked out for some reason.
cool. Next one is my last pick, right? Number
Yep.
14. Okay, I have 2 wicket keepers and I have to choose between the two.
What are they?
Oh wait, I can't, right? I can't do Rickleton because I have 4 away now,
Yes.
even in my reserve.
I mean, you could pick Rickerton and then you'd have to just choose one between the thing. You could just choose the higher one in your final competition because it only comes into play if somebody doesn't play in your first
I
11.
see. It's fine. I'll go with Jitesh.
Okay.
I would have loved to pick Sai Sudarshan, to be honest.
He's only playing the one though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Sai Sudarshan. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I will pick Sai Sudarshan. Sorry if you had him as his
Why
substitute
not actually?
because he's playing one, sure, but this is a reserve, right? And he might come in only if my other 12 don't play.
Mhm.
And Sudarshan's been Mr. Consistent. He's good for at least 40 every time he plays.
Yep.
I have a higher ceiling to get points with Jitesh if he comes off, but Sudarshan's almost always going to come off the way he's playing right now.
Yeah. So my number 14 is good old Sanju Samson because I like him
Yeah,
and he's very good and he has two games and it's a low risk way for me to indulge in my Sanju Samson fan.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is so interesting. None of our, I don't think apart from Rahul, our batting picks were the same, but our bowling picks really conflicted each other. I wanted Bhuvi and I wanted Josh. I was thinking if you go for Josh, I'd go for Bhuvi or the other way around. And then I wanted Digvish Rathi.
And I wanted Archer.
You wanted Jansen as well, right?
Archer and Jansen were in my.
Yeah, that's very interesting. At least we're on the same page bowling wise.
Yeah, I mean, apart from like Karan Sharma, which is like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, that's
If you,
like, if ever there was a gamble. The
Karan
fact that you have
Sharma,
Karan Sharma above Jasprit Bumrah is like,
that's because I'm not convinced Bumrah is 100%. Maybe 2 weeks down the line, when Bumrah returns fully fit, he's probably going to be our first pick for bowlers when it comes to it anyway. So,
yeah, which is reasonable. And like, there's no fun unless you're taking some gambles in this, right? Like, it's not the most
it's
scientific.
not like I'm betting my house, right?
I mean, that's what you think, right? I mean, we find out.
All right. So we have our teams. Atman, are you going to share your team, share the teams, or should I?
Go ahead and share the screen.
All right. All right. So this is your team. Are you going to put a captain?
If I had to put a captain over 3 games, I just go with Ayer.
I knew it.
It's a no-brainer. But I can put that in here. Like Ayer. Ayer.
You know what? I like your team. Iyer, Jaiswal, solid top three. Patel is a gamble, according to me. Pandya, Patel, one of them is going to come good. You have amazing bowling.
Yeah.
Let's go to my vibes team. Prayansh Arya vibes. Karun Nair vibes. Prab Simran vibes. Let's see how this goes,
I
man.
don't know if Prabhsubran qualifies as vibes, man.
Okay.
Who's your keeper?
Vibes. Who's my keeper? Prab Simran.
Right. Got it.
All right. Next time we come in, we'll assign points. We'll see who won this round, and then we'll pick the next team. And we'll let you guys know about what our scoring system is as we figure that out. All right. This has been really fun. Thanks, Atman, for doing this. Thanks for the idea. Until next time, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm Navtanay.
This is Atman, and see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.